Jesus and lift the name above all names. I will praise and love you, Jesus, and spread the news of why you came. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, teacher, healer, savior, friend. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, teacher, healer, savior, friend. I have come to worship Jesus and lift the name above all names. I will praise and love you, Jesus, and spread the news of why you came. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, teacher, healer, savior, friend. Jehovah Jireh, my provider.
Whoa! Yowzer! Look at this dude. He's got a gouge right out of the side of his head, man. Something bad happened. Get better, dude. Right now I'm finding these weed patches. You know, they're like there's no weeds, and then all of a sudden there's a clump of them, and they'll come right up. I don't know what they're called. I'm almost thinking it's milfoil because it comes right up to the top. But they're sitting in that, and the waves, the wind is coming from this way, so they're tending to be on that side. So if I got a clump of weeds here, and my boat's over here, they're going to be. I'm tossing it here, and there's a fish there. That's 3 times in a row, so. Finally got one. Yeah, I lost the same fish twice. This guy made an appearance on my first stop of the day. I hit all the rocks in the area with no luck. And before I moved on to my next spot, I decided to hit him all again. And he was hiding right in between 2 rocks. And he jumped out of the water and my hook went flying. I went on to my next spot with no luck. Ended up coming back probably an hour later and hooked into him again. And I made it through the jump this time, but then he ended up pulling off. So I ended up catching this fish twice, and I lost him twice. You know, if I create a violation, I can pay a fine and I'll be forgiven of that violation. Isn't it funny though that there's no requirement for me to stop doing the violation. The only thing that's required of me is to pay the fine. So I can pay money to receive forgiveness. Now if I have a few extra dollars in my pocket, I might decide that, hey, you know what? I'm going to continue doing the violation, and I'll just pay the fine, like say a parking ticket. I got this place that I love to park. It's illegal for me to park there. You know what? I'm just going to keep on doing it, and whenever they catch me and give me a ticket, I'll just pay the fine, whatever. Well, we do this for a while, and we can start to believe that we're above the law. And that police officers don't have any authority over me. I just do whatever I want, and I'll just pay the fines, man. Another little trick that we like to do to be able to receive forgiveness is that we start befriending police officers and court officials, judges, whoever's in authority. All of a sudden, we're their best friends.
Yeah, man. All my buddies are cops, man. I know everybody. And my uncle's best friend was the chief of police in New Hampshire. So, hey, I know all about your job. I know all about it, man.
Well, we got to tell them that, my nephew or my son or whatever is an officer, and I know all about the job. Oh, boy, I got it all. I know just what you're going through. Well, the truth is, we haven't got a clue what they're going through. But what we're trying to do is to suck up and to earn our forgiveness. If I put the officer, if I'm nice enough to him whenever I see him, or if I do enough for him, when I create a violation, I'm putting him into a position where he feels like he has to forgive me and not write me up for that violation. You see, I feel like I'm earning it. When we hear forgiveness, we tend to think that, God is obligated to forgive us for whatever that we do, and that He just doesn't care about anything. And as long as we apologize and ask for forgiveness, then everything's hunky-dory. Well, God is just. There's still going to be a price to be paid. Just like if I take my vehicle and I run it into someone else's car. They get out of the car and they ask me, "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm all right." "I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to do that." And they forgive me. "Oh, it's all right." But you know what? I'm still obligated to fix their car. Or let's say I committed murder and I have gotten arrested. And I'm in prison and I ask God to forgive me for this murder. Okay? I ask, and my heart is right. I have forgiveness in my heart. I have repentance. It's the real deal. Well, you know what? He's faithful and He will forgive me. And I'm going to be able to get into heaven. But I'm still responsible for the sentence that I have. He's not forgiven me of my sentence. See, there's still a price to be paid. When we hear about forgiveness, we tend to forget that we're talking about spiritual things here. God's forgiving us of our sin and allowing us to come into heaven. You see, He's not relieving us of the penalty that needs to be paid here. These are spiritual things that He's forgiving us for. God's forgiveness is free. There was a price paid by Jesus, but to us, it's free. So I can't earn it, by doing things like going to church every Sunday. It's not going to earn me forgiveness. I'm not going to be able to remind God of everything that I've done and everything that I'm doing in order to try to guilt Him into forgiving me. And I'm not going to be able to pay a fine for my sins, or like a violation. I'm not going to be able to pay any kind of money to be able to earn forgiveness. When we hear forgiveness, we tend to think that, it's just, there's no price to be paid at all. And we read in the Bible and we hear things about God being merciful and He forgives everybody, you know, like he just doesn't care about anything, and all we have to do is ask, you know. So again, we fall into the position where we're ordering God around. So I go and just do whatever I want, and all I have to do is ask for forgiveness. You know, when I stop playing games and I get real with my faith, Christianity, I realize that I'm going to die someday and that I'll be sitting in the judgment seat answering for every action I've had. When I realize this, we hear this in church all the time about this, you know, but we think that it's a long ways away or that it doesn't apply to me. But let me remind you that tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. But when I get real with my faith and I decide to clean everything up and I don't have anything hidden in the closet, you know, and I remove that need to suck up to people, like say an officer, you know, I feel like I need to suck up to an officer and befriend him and get him on my side because I need him, because I have 5 illegal guns in the house, or I have a tendency to be drinking all day long, drinking and driving, you know. I mean, I want the cops on my side so that I can earn forgiveness because I've got these certain things. When I remove all of that, there is such a freedom, let me tell you. You know, I've been lucky enough for about the last 4 years, been able to live in pure freedom, you know, and I'm not going to lie to myself, and I'm not going to lie to anyone else. My life is not perfect in any way, but I've cleaned up all those areas, and I don't feel the need that I need to suck up, get anybody on my side. I've got God behind me. You know, I don't even feel like I need to suck up to my pastor. I don't feel like I'm in desperate need. I don't need to put on a facade in front of him to try to convince him that I'm a good person and that I'm a good Christian. I don't feel that at all. You know why? Because I'm who God created me to be. You know, I'm confident that I hear his voice. You know what I mean? And that I do the best that I can to obey him and to do what's right. You know, and there is just an awesome freedom in that. You know, my forgiveness comes from him. Look at that fucker, man.